Now, without further ado, the next session will be presented by Christo Peev. He is a software and business executive, software developer and business executive with substantial entrepreneurial experience. He has a B.Sc in computer science and an M.Sc in innovations and technology management. He works with Silicon Valley startups and multinational corporations operating in the areas of asset management, blockchain analytics, big data. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, if you please help me to join with Mr. Christo Peev.
Hello everyone. I'm very happy to be here among you and feel all that positive energy. That's a great event. I'm super hyped actually to be part of it. Also, Motion Software is one of the co-organizers, and for us it's a huge pleasure to continue developing the ecosystem, especially for blockchain, DeFi, fintech in Bulgaria and the region. Thanks a lot for the intro. As you know, me, the founder of Motion Software, it's a platform for remote digital specialists, and we help hundreds of people across Eastern Europe to work for some of the big and nice fintech companies and blockchain companies from around the world. I'm also a partner at It Remains, the first decentralized media franchise, again powered by the blockchain. And today we're going to talk about the future of NFTs, and we're going to look at some interesting use cases that go beyond the digital artworks that most of us know. It will be an interactive dive into the world and future of NFTs. And why interactive? Because I would like to have you more involved in the whole conversation and the whole talk. So we can do something. If you have any questions, you can ask your questions by interrupting me and by raising hand. And then you're going to have 10 seconds to ask a question, and I can answer in 15 seconds, as we have just 30 minutes for the whole talk. So let's try this. Anyone want to ask a question? Hand? My hand, question, answer. All right, you'll see, it will happen. Cool, so let's start. NFTs, these are these interesting new digital artifacts on the internet who actually come consequently some other interesting digital artifacts, which are the so-called cryptocurrencies, or more specifically the ERC20 tokens. The ERC20 is the most popular standard for cryptocurrency, and it represents fungible tokens, which means that it represents tokens that are interchangeable, tokens that have not unique features, but could have huge quantities, could be subtracted into sub-quantities, and so on. In the recent years, we see the rise of NFTs, which are the equivalent of the non-fungible assets that we also have in the real world. So if we can compare like the Ether token, the Bitcoin token, and all others to the money that we have in our pockets, or like to bars of gold, we can compare the NFTs to fine art, to expensive vehicles that are one of a kind, or simply to your house, which is unique at the end. So for the purpose of this conversation, I categorized the NFTs in 4 categories, which are the most common nowadays. So we have the first one, which is NFTs that are pretty much collectible JPEGs, art, and the most popular types of that kind of NFTs are basically profile pictures. How are these profile pictures used? That's a question many people ask me, and actually they don't have such a big usage. but they pretend to be a symbol of status, a symbol of wealth. So the way I use these profile pictures is pretty much the same way I would use a super expensive Ferrari that I keep in my garage and I pretty much don't use for my day-to-day traveling, simply because it will break in the next 1,000 kilometers. But at the same time, when I have this car, I'm the fanciest guy in the room, and everyone knows that I'm super rich, for example. So that used to be the first utility of the JPEGs. Then many projects started introducing forms of membership or some other utility which enables people to receive some additional service or some additional products by holding an NFT. For example, we have the VCon, it's the VFriends NFTs, and the people who possess the VFriends NFTs have access to the V conference and have like real life access to Gary V, who, as most of you know, is big influencer in the NFT space. Down there you can see also NFTs from the After Party collection. So this is a party community of people who listen to techno music and house music, and only members of the community who possess NFTs, like the robot down there, can access these parties and events that they organize. Another great example of membership NFTs is the Flyfish Sushi Club. So these are those pictures that are not that unique, by the way. Actually, all the people possess the same kind of pictures. There are, I think, 3 different kinds. And only the people who possess these NFTs can go and have dinner in a super special sushi restaurant, which actually still doesn't exist. So this is a great example of how we start using that technology. Then we have another category, utility of the NFTs as a core value driver. You all know the metaverses and the games like Axie Infinity, Sandbox, Decentraland. There we basically purchase these assets in order to use them in the game or in order to possess our own place in the game. And the last thing that we're also going to talk about today is utility as property, something which is emerging as a trend. So companies and projects, protocols start tokenizing physical assets, turning them into digital, so we can do all kind of interesting things with the digital ones. As I said, it all started with the hegemony of the profile pictures and their land. These are the top 10 NFT projects by volume since ever, pretty much, from OpenSea. And you can see the first 3 are just profile pictures. These are CryptoPunks, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Ape. Number 4 is RD for other side, which is the land of the CryptoPunk of the Bored Ape Yacht Club. So that's how the profile pictures look like. You all know them. Project number 4 is this. So you buy virtual land in the upcoming game of Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is still not developed, still not released. But by having these cards, you will have the right to claim your SWOT in their metaverse and virtual world. So these were the projects that actually ruled the NFT space for the last 24, 18 months. And now we see the rise of new kind of NFTs. That's also the sandbox NFTs. You can buy land next to someone else who is cool, like eToro, for example, who has land over there in a virtual world, similar to Sims maybe, or even uglier. Unfortunately for all these projects, actually the interest and the volume in such NFTs is going down. These are like the most recent statistics from OpenSea. So as you can see, the hype is already gone and people trade, buy and invest less and less in such NFTs. And at the same time, we see the rise of brand NFTs. It's very interesting that many of these NFTs, they don't go to OpenSea, and that's why they don't get reflected in these charts. But some of the most successful examples are the Nike brand NFT. They managed to raise $155 million on the first sale. And Nike, they don't pretend that this is an investment asset or a membership. They say this is a product. So basically they sell products, and they managed to sell products for 185 million to their fans. And the same way I buy these super fancy Nikes for $300 just to show my friends that I'm cool. I can buy this Nike NFT and put it on my Instagram, on Twitter, and again prove to my whole brotherhood that I'm the coolest guy in the room. So isn't that great, guys? Come on. We also have lots of other brands who did the same. Dolce & Gabbana, they sold NFTs for 26 million. Tiffany, the jewelry, 13 million. Gucci, Adidas, and so on. And now I want to give you a showcase of how they do such thing. That's the official website of Lamborghini. Of course, we're at a crypto conference. How can we miss that brand? On the official website of Lamborghini, actually, guys, amazing opportunity. Now you can participate in an NFT sale. It started this month, August 2022, and it will end like in, I don't know, 6 months or more in March 2023. So every month they release several NFTs, about, I think, 63 per month, and you get them unrevealed, so you don't know exactly what NFT you get, but you need 3 of a special kind to combine them and unlock a special prize, which is inside this container, and it could reveal a Lamborghini. But come on, it's just digital Lamborghini, it won't be a physical one. And the first digital Lamborghini is already on sale for 200,000 on their website. You can see these are not the unlocked Lamborghinis. These are the pieces that you need to collect, similarly to the, pictures that we used to collect when we've been kids to feel like a gallery or something. And you need to collect a special set of pictures in order to unlock a bigger prize. Most interesting, that thing is blockchain based. It's running on the Palm blockchain, which is kind of experimental blockchain for NFTs. To be honest, I never heard about it before. It's developed by a company called NFT WAP. And at the moment, the only way to purchase these NFTs is by US bank account, non-US bank account, or other kind of non-US bank account. So you cannot purchase these with crypto. You need to purchase them with money. You do it on the website of Lamborghini. And after you purchase them, you can actually keep them in your Palm blockchain wallet, which is also dedicated to Lamborghini. And why do they did this and they didn't do it on OpenSea? Simple, because of KYC. Like you have to upload your ID card here. And if they enable the open trade of these NFTs, they won't know who is owning what, and all the AML, KYC, compliance questions can arise to Lamborghini. They don't want to have that risk, so they're doing it in a super safe sandbox. But still, obviously people paying hundreds of thousands for their NFTs, which is great. Another novel way of using NFTs, the project I'm part of, it remains, we're involving our fans early in the process. So we're creating this universe, which is, let's say, similar to the universe of Pokemon or the universe of Spider-Man, where we use the same characters and the same world to create books, movies, games, and so on. And now the people have the chance to actually purchase parts of the world, some of the characters, and then they will have the ability to vote on the future of the story. our big collection of 7,077 unique pieces will give you the opportunity to actually unveil, like reveal a piece with, let's say, super rare characteristics, and the characters with more rare characteristics become the main characters in the movie or in the game, and such their value is boosted once again. So yeah, we use OpenSea, for example, and people who want to be part of that can get NFTs from there. Third thing, actually that's the fourth thing in my categorization of NFTs, real world assets tokenization. Realty, that's a company that is not using NFTs. They use ERC20 tokens, but they're maybe the most successful example of organization who is tokenizing successfully real estate. So Realty, they buy a house, they break it into 1,000 ERC20 tokens, and there should be at least 100 people who are purchasing them. Behind these tokens, there are law firms, contracts, certificates of ownership, and so on. So the company behind these tokens is actually doing all these bureaucratic and administrative paperwork. So people from all around the world now can purchase and invest in real estate in the US, which used to be quite hard and still is if you don't go for crypto solution. At the same time, Goldman Sachs is exploring the tokenization of real assets, and they're exploring the tokenization of real assets through NFTs. When Realty started, NFTs were not a big thing, and probably that's the reason they are still using ERC20 tokens. But I personally believe that NFTs are better for this thing, like for tokenizing assets. And in a bit, I will tell you why. I see NFTs actually as the bridge to DeFi mass adoption. You know, DeFi are all these financial service applications that are typically provided by your bank, by your insurance company, and so on, now uploaded on the blockchain as open source programs. So just imagine if you turn your car into an NFT, your real car, an NFT representing your real car. You can basically prove the ownership over your car, transfer ownership, trade it in automated market makers maybe, stake it, lend it, use it as collateral, and maybe even sell fractions of your car while you're still driving it. So that's something very powerful, and actually there are companies and projects who are already doing that. While doing my research for this presentation, I found this actually, that's a Russian, I think, project called Barter. So here it's all tokenized assets. You can buy them with B.Sc coin or with Ethereum. And I don't know to what extent the legal stuff is right there, but people believe that they tokenize things, and like a guy even tokenized this ship and it's selling it for almost $1 million. A company that I know, and I know that their legal stuff is right, that's Rollup, the Rollup store. It's owned by the CureInvest organization. It's Swiss-based. So in Switzerland, the legislation is developed enough to actually be able to tokenize physical assets, and they're tokenizing in the most proper way. They have all the paperwork. They're tokenizing super expensive vehicles and selling fractions of them. So if you want to own Mercedes AMG GTS, now you can do it even for $100, because you can buy like one NFT that represents 1,000 of that car. So that's a great example of how actually physical assets could be traded, and these are ERC20. These are ERC20. No, these are NFTs, but NFTs that could be again staked, especially with the new NFT exchanges like SudoSwap, which enables lots of features for staking and trading NFTs in the way we used to do the same with ERC20 tokens on the popular DeFi protocols. Why I believe that NFTs will win the real world assets tokenization game? At the end, most of the real world assets are non-fungible. So basically, do you know what is the biggest market in the world? What are the, like, what asset class is the most valuable? Anyone? Any idea? Real estate. Absolutely. Real estate is, I don't know, maybe 100 trillion, $1,000 trillion, no one knows. And these are non-fungible assets. You cannot substitute one house for another. You cannot substitute a flat for a house because they're very different. And NFTs are by design programmed in such a way that they carry metadata, which is great because we can code all the characteristics of our house, of our land into an NFT. NFTs also, most of them are non-divisible. That could be an option, but the standards that are now popular are non-divisible, which is the same with your house. Typically, you cannot sell part of your house, part of your car, if you not securitize this asset, pretty much. And NFTs at the end are easier to understand by non-crypto people, which are 98% of the people out there, because they can relate to what they've seen on e-commerce websites or what they've seen on used car websites, let's say. Simply, you know, these ads where you see a picture of the asset, some description, and the NFTs actually look like that. So simply psychologically, they're more tuned, like they will be adapted easily. Furthermore, the World Economic Forum, as you know, this great organization, they work actively on implementing asset tokenization on a global scale. So Dr. Klaus Schwab, who is the president of the World Economic Forum since 1979, he said that the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, of course, represents a rare but narrow window of opportunity to reflect, reimagine, and reset our world. And for that purpose, they're creating something called the Great Reset. It's a plan for how we will switch to the fourth industrial revolution and how the world will start working differently. And part of that plan is actually to start tokenizing everything. And that's stated in some of their documents. On the website of the World Economic Forum, we can watch videos guiding the people around the world how the arrival of the token economy from arts to real estate will change us for good. Of course, not everyone agrees that that will be a good change or bad, but obviously it's a thing that's coming, and obviously it's a thing that also probably will be enforced by governments, by institutions, the same way we're enforced to use electronic banking, for example, nowadays. Yeah, I didn't receive any questions while speaking, so hopefully I have some now. Yes, please. Who release NFTs? Yeah, there are several projects, successful ones. For example, the Sublime's NFT project. It's an art project. The project I'm part of, it remains IO. It's also this media entertainment franchise project. We have NFTs on OpenSea. There was these guys from co-working Bansko who released a successful collection. So I would say there are 6-7 successful NFT projects. Most of them in the profile pics realm, but still that is the thing which is actually working nowadays. Thank you. Yes, please. Yes. Um, as I said, NFTs are non-fungible. That's their name. And most of the assets around the world are non-fungible. If you want to tokenize your Ferrari, if you want to tokenize your Picasso, if you want to tokenize your flat, you cannot use ERC20 tokens because they're divisible. And when you're selling Picasso, you cannot sell just part of the picture. So this is one of the reasons. Otherwise, you know, ERC20 and ERC721, for example, they're quite similar. Also, new standards can appear. But simply the NFTs as we see them today and the way they're presented as pictures in galleries will really work better for most of the people to understand what they're buying or what they're selling compared to some tokens that they trade through like exchanges. Thank you. Yes, please. Okay. Would small and mid-sized NFT projects will survive because 95% of the projects die? I think that's something that happens across all industries. Think about ID companies and startups. 97% of the startups bankrupt. There are few huge IT companies who rule the world, like Google, Facebook, Amazon, and so on. The same processes are happening on the blockchain as well. So I would look at what's happening in the traditional tech scene and make comparisons. I believe that the projects that are original, the projects that are really coming from teams who want to give value to their users rather than extract value from a huge market, these will be the projects that will be successful. And as you know, there are also lots of successful tech startups that are small. So there will be lots of successful NFT projects that stay small. Yes, please.
And are you aware of any applications in healthcare? In healthcare?
Yes, I've heard about many applications with NFTs in healthcare. The problem is that digital assets and cryptocurrencies still haven't proven to solve issues outside the virtual world. And healthcare is one of the most conservative industries. Just think about how other industries are developing. For example, we have fully digitized e-commerce. We have fully digitized communication. We have fully digitized, what else? Banking. Now we're fully digitizing banking with apps like Revolut. But in healthcare, we're so much behind. And I believe that there will be one of the last industries that is adopting NFTs. Yeah. More questions? Do we have more time, actually? No? No more time. All right, guys, sorry. You can find me outside and ask me anything. Thank you.